So at the start of the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup, on the Berkshire station, we have Craftsbury Green Racing Project from the USA, and Hinksey Sculling School and Exeter University on the Buckinghamshire station. So back to a boat class now of no coxes. So it's up to the bow people of these boats to steer the boats. And you can see there's plenty of clear water between them, so a nice clean start. Oh. So that was the Craftsbury Green Racing. I've just caught a crab. Well, Blade got stuck in the water.
And the bowman has lost his left-hand scull and is struggling to get it back. And that's brought the crews together. And we have another incident-packed race.
And for me, that's an instance where you need to stop. You can't keep running while someone's trying to get the blade, because it will just keep spinning and then you'll end up snapping it.
See that the two-man is desperately trying to help his bowman get the left scull back into the gate.
And this, I didn't hear if the umpire stopped the racing or they're still going. I wasn't sure. I
didn't hear anything either, and the fact that they're moving.
So they've kept around. The race has not been stopped. Hinksey, Sculling School and Exeter University have kept moving away, took the advantage. So Craftsbury Green Racing Project in the USA have got a lot to do now to get back on terms.
And interestingly, given how much time they lost in that incident, the crews, now that we picked them up at halfway, are reasonably close together, and you can see a quick look there from the bowman of the Craftsbury Green Racing Project. See how far behind Hinksey, Sculling School and Exeter University they are. You can see they're going for it.
And you think about the journey that they've had from the US, you know, they've had to come across, they've had to isolate, you know, this is a huge opportunity to race at Henley, and the last thing you want is anything to go wrong like that. So trying to give everything they possibly can now. But they did lose a lot of time with they're trying to put the blade right and get moving again.
Yes, they lost a huge amount of time. And when something like that happens, there's a huge amount of adrenaline that can fuel, you know, a huge effort. But whether or not that's going to be sustainable, I think is the key question. Both crews sculling at 36, but Hinksey and Exeter clearly well in control of the situation, despite the fact that Craftsbury must have come back quite considerably during the course of the race.
And like anything, I don't know if the crews that you race in, did you practice any of those sort of things? If anything went wrong, how would you respond to something? Because obviously they didn't have a clear plan. They were trying to still move as the blade was stuck. Well, you needed to stop the boat, get the blade out and then go again.
Mark, to be honest, we didn't really practice that for Henley. Certainly practice it for the boat race, because much more chance of an incident in the boat race. And certainly practiced how we would come back from clashing. In all of the crews that I raced in at Henley, we didn't really practice for a boat stopping incident. It's generally not something that you think is likely to happen.
It was just something that whenever I always practice every scenario, so I had a clear image of how I would want to respond, so it became like instant. So I remember my first Henley, I fell off my seat on the start, and we went behind and had to chase the crew in front of us. So, not saying I wanted it to happen, but we had practiced something happened in the first 10 strokes.
You're obviously better prepared than the crews I was in.
But obviously a tough race for the Craftsbury crew, having that incident at the start, losing their blade. Trying to chase the Hinksey Sculling School and Exeter University. But obviously the margin was quite vast.
I think what this also illustrates is one of the key features of match racing. You have to take your opportunities. And clearly Hinksey and Exeter have done that. they're still having to work quite hard. I mean, they're sculling at 35, trailing crew Craftsbury sculling at 36, and so they're not as in control of the race as they might be. And it does look from here as if Craftsbury are coming back slightly.
Which would be astounding, seeing how long they stop for. But it is about taking the advantage when something happens and capitalising on it. So the bow person of the Craftsbury crew, just making sure he keeps the rest of the crew aware of where they are as they try to mount this comeback.
And they are closing the gap, albeit that their steering is probably costing them a little bit there. They came off the booms, but Hinksey and Exeter looking well in control.
Keep attacking. It's impressive that they've just kept attacking all the way down all the way up the Henley course, trying to get back on terms. That'd be hugely disappointing for them, but that is a win for the Hinksey Sculling School and Exeter University over the Craftsbury Green Racing project from the USA in the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup.